Isn't it interesting that the very thing that you think you don't need is the very thing that you need? Hey, it's your girl Sherry Summers, and welcome to Monetize Your Influence podcast. And I want to take a second to talk to my ambitious women. If you're an ambitious woman, I am talking to you today. I'm talking to you because I know that there are times as you grow your business, you're feeling like you're not moving. You're feeling like you're just going in debt. You're investing in yourself. You are, but you just feel like your investment is not getting anywhere. And you feel like you need to throw the baby out with the bathwater, if so to speak. I'm talking to you right now. You feel like you should be further ahead than where you are. You're smart, you're educated, you have all the accolades to show that you're educated. But yet, why then you're asking yourself, why then doesn't my education matches my profit? Why am I not further? And if you're feeling this way, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you've done all the things and you're still not moving, this podcast is for you. I'm not going to be long like my other podcasts, but I really want to talk to you right now. First of all, I want to commend you for having that awareness. I want to commend you for having that awareness that that is happening, right? And that you know that you're great. You know that there's more to you. You know that. And you just thinking that this next investment, this next thing is going to bring it out. And then when it doesn't happen, you have that this unmet expectations on your life and you just get frustrated with it because you just don't know where to turn. Let me tell you this. I hear you and I know it so well because I was you. I was you. Whenever something happened, especially my income, I feel like I need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I need to cut off all investments that I was making. I need to start over. I need to go back in again. We are, because ambitious women, we are accustomed to thinking we need to go harder to go further. We need to work harder to go further. We are accustomed to feeling like if it's going to happen, it's going to take me. I'm the one that just have to step in the ring and do it. Nobody else can do it. And because when it's done, I'm going to have the wounds. I'm going to have the scar to show for that's my reward. There's wounds and the scars to show for all the hard work. And you can look back and say, this is me. I did it. I know it so well again because that was me. But what we don't realize about that is even as ambitious and smart as we are, where we lack the awareness is when we do things like that, when we feel like it's gonna take me, I'm the one that's gonna have to do it. Even if we have a spouse, we're still thinking that way. What we just did is edge God out. We unintentionally create this ego of for me to get out of the mental hole that I'm in and the financial hole that I'm in, I create this ego scarcity mindset. And it doesn't look like scarcity in your head because in your head, scarcity is you buy anything, you buy a purse, you buy an outfit, you buy anything. But the scarcity mindset is I need to cut off everything and start over or start new. And I have to go back down in the grind again. And so we're always like restarting. We always have the restarting. And so that restarting can look like, oh, we're just restarting. But that is the byproduct of a scarcity mindset. And the reason why we're saying that is You need community. You have to have a space to where you're in an environment that is flourishing. I was talking to one of my clients, and she says to me, whenever I am in the program, when I am there or we're in person at our event, I get revived. That's the word. I get revived. So how can you cut off the space that revive you? You're thinking you need more money. You need to be revived. One of the things that I love that I have space for my clients is they can come to get revived and to remember that what we are chasing is a better version of ourselves. And that better version does not require us to believe that we got to go back in the trenches again. Not saying that we're not going to be ambitious. Don't get me ambitious doesn't mean you're suffocating yourself and pulling back from everything. It just means that we're analyzing where our energy will go. But in analyzing where energy will go, we need a place that can revive us. We need a place that can condition us. See, ambitious women, it's not even about the money for you, it's about the way we think of how we're going to get to our goal. The problem you have, the thinking that you have, and how you're going to attain your goal is not sometimes the right thinking. So, therefore, the matrix that you're applying to that thinking is off. We usually always think that we have to make some moves and we have to do this. For example, I cannot tell you how. Let me tell you, if you feel like if you ever feel, this is how you know if your thinking is off and you need to reframe the thinking. If your next move, you think you can do it by yourself, you don't need anybody because you're going to figure it out by yourself. It's going to require you, it's going to be for you. You have to do it. You don't need coaching, you don't need investing, you don't need help because you're going to do it all. If the thinking that you have is that you're going to have to figure out the way out, you're going to have to, if the thinking that, and you don't have any space to where you can create experience, you're in the wrong thinking. And I know that thinking so well because, again, I stayed in that space for so long. Because here's the truth: success is never achieved alone. So that's why I keep paying for coaching programs. Success is never achieved by yourself. So, regardless of what I am thinking in my mind, knowing that principle, I am always making sure that I'm in a space that's higher level than who I am. Always. I'm in a space that's kind of sometimes even intimidate me to be in, because that's how you know, right? You got a little intimidation is a little good because you give something that you can aspire and thrive to. If you're in a space where you have not yet figured it all out, there's more work to do, you're knowing it. Because if you retreat, because that's what you're doing, subconsciously doing, and say, I don't need to be in this program, or I don't need to market my business, or I need to just throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you're thinking in that way, that's not how leaders thinks. That's not how CEO thinks. When a CEO is cutting the company, they still keep the main core of the company. They may let go of certain staff, but the the true CEO, you'll see people like, oh no, my cousin we used to work with my husband at the time when my husband and I was dating way back. They work at the same company, and my cousin, he did electrical work, and my husband did a different type of work. And when the company was shutting down or moving, they kept my cousin, who was the electrician, and didn't keep my husband because my cousin was more essential part of the company moving forward. So when you are making decision, and one thing because of fear, so that's what it is, we're gonna decide to just throw away everything. I'm not gonna invest. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna, I just wanna stop everything. I'm just gonna go back on myself. I'm gonna make it about me again. But nothing ever grows singular. Nothing ever goes singular. When you put that seed in that ground, it needs it needs formalizer, it needs water, it needs help. So the devil will have you thinking that it's good to just be by yourself and don't go anywhere, don't be in spaces. Whenever I'm in a space of uncertainty, or I'm in a space that, and because what happened is ambitious women, we get in a space of uncertainty, and then our next move is to say, okay, I can do this on my own. I need to let go of everything. I need to start over fresh, and I can do this on my own. And I want to caution you there, because the space of uncertainty that you're in, you really have to analyze what you're saying that you're letting go. Because now that I'm really in my leadership and in my CEO mentality, I know, regardless of what my finances look like, there's certain areas in my business I don't let go. I don't let go of mentorship, coaching. I don't let go of that, because those are the same thing that's going to keep me in the know, in the room, in the space, in my growth. I don't let go of personal development. I don't let go of my assistant or whoever helping me along the way, and my system person. They stay around me through the highs and low. I don't let go of certain main functioning people in my business, because that's premature of me as a CEO, and it'll put me all back. Because what happened is, when clarity comes, when you're finally on the other side and clarity comes, you're gonna wish that you didn't, because you're gonna have to start all over again. you know and I just want to make you aware of someone who has been in your space for so long, to measure your wins, your small wins, instead of your destination. I want to make you aware that understanding that how important personal development is, and that's not something that you can play with. Like, that's just not something your soul deserves. Your soul relies on it. And there are just sometimes, as a coach, I know that some of you guys, you're going to hear this message and you can't really relate to it right now because you're not in a space to hear. You're not in a space to hear. And the biggest challenge I have as a coach is the people who sometimes are there listening to me. They're not, sometimes I'm so advanced mentally than where they are. And I'm trying to warn them and give them words of wisdom of how to navigate the challenging times. And it's not until later on they see. And this is coming from one of my client, like, Sherry, you were right. You said that. And I told her, I said, I don't want to be right. I want to help you be fulfilled, because it's not about me. It's about you understanding that the reason why you have to keep restarting is because of the state of how you are applying the season that you're in. That's why you have to keep restarting. And you're not conditioning your brain to learn how to think when you're in that season. You're instead of you're doing here's what I'm thinking versus here's how I need to think in this season. And I teach my clients how to think in a season. So when you're in a season of uncertainty, that is not where you cut and isolate. That is not where you cut and isolate. Yes, you give yourself time to be in a place of reverence, but you cannot cut off the heartbeat of your business because you always have to keep developing that new heartbeat. And what is your heartbeat? Your heartbeat is, where do you go to grow? I have I have people right now and I say, hey, what mastermind, what coaching program are you in? And they're like, well, I'm not doing a coaching program right now, and their business is suffering. And I can tell because in a coaching program, in a group coaching program, you work it till it work. So you get in a mess, you get messy. You my coach in my coach that in the mastermind that I was in, that I'm in, still currently in, she will tell me something and give me patience to catch up with what she's saying. Give me space, give me time, and give me patience. But at no time does it tell my mind say I need to cut off from this coaching. I watch people who are around me who's not paying for a coach or not invested in a coach, their business is suffering just because they're having to go from different pieces to get answers. And they don't realize that this is all part of the process. This is all. And I know you say, oh, Sherry, this sounds good and all, but this is all part of the process. Like, if you want your business to grow or traffic to your email list or wherever, whatever that looks like, you have to be in spaces that bring that traffic. You have to be in spaces and events, in challenges, in this, in that, in personal development that brings that. You have to be. So why would you cut off the source that bring that to you? And then and then you got to know how to do it. So why would you cut off the source that's bringing it to you? Because you're going through a mental state. Step back, but don't cut off. Step back. You don't have to show up for every class. You don't have to come to everything, but don't cut off the very source that is actually there. And that's where we go wrong all the time. That's where we go wrong all the time because we just don't know how to navigate our emotions. We don't know how to navigate what we're feeling. And because we don't know how to navigate what we're feeling, the first thing in our head to do is to cut off everything, start over, cut off everything and start over. And that delay the promised land, that delay where we're trying to go because we are not regulated in how to navigate our approach. So no one has taught us how to think when situations is not going the way we plan. How to think. And that's why I'm here to teach you. Here's how to think when situation is not going as expected. And how you think is, what are the essential things my soul need? Not my strategy, not my system. What is the essential thing my soul needs? And whatever that essential thing is, I guarantee it's community. You need community. And having a community where you can, I've not showed up for my mastermind about 2 to 3 weeks, but I paid for it and I know it's there. And at any given time, if I feel like I need to navigate, I come right back to it. I know it's there. And I know I'm going to see them in a few weeks, but I know it's there for me. But not having an attachment to that to where I gotta call different people to get their opinion and they don't understand me, they don't understand my mindset, it gets frustrating. But knowing that I'm paying for a place where I'm going to get my ish together and then I come back or I come in and ask question, just having that insurance of that is something that you cannot, it's essential for your soul. And we miss that so much because when our emotions take over, we don't know how to think our way out of it. We don't know how do we think in that space? And that's what I'm here to help you do. And we're headed into a new era and we're heading into a new year. And I want to gift you with our manifesto guide. And our manifesto guide is just a declaration of what ambitious women in sales and finance and how we navigate life regardless of how we're feeling. It helps you navigate how to think when things are going or not going the way you wanted to go. And once you know how to think, you can make better decisions about the things that you are doing in your life. Because the decision that you're making is based on how you're currently temporarily feeling. And when you come out of that temporary state, you may look back and say, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did it take me 10 years to arrive somewhere they should have took me 3? Because I didn't know how to think when I'm in a particular situation. Jesus, thank you, Father. I did not know how to think. And I cut off the resource that was teaching me exactly how to think. Because that you're doing right now in 2025, everything you have and everything you don't have is because you don't know how to think to get it. What state of thinking do I need to be in order to get this thing? And then when you know what state of thinking you need to be in, then you know who to become to identify to get it. Ooh, clap, clap. Mm. So you don't have a strategy problem. You have a how do I think problem. So don't cut off the very place that you need to be in to learn how to think. All right, so grab my manifesto guide. It will be in the show notes. This is my gift to you. And also we have some amazing thing. Speaking of thinking, I'm also going to drop something I think is super powerful for you. That is my upcoming book called The Brain Changer. I'm excited. You're going to hear more about that in my podcast, The Brain Changer. I think this is a book that you are going to need. So I'm going to drop that in the show notes as well. All right, super excited. Cannot wait to talk with you. See you on our next podcast.